So I got to thinking the other day, there's really one tool that's not cordless, and that is an air hammer. Why haven't we come out with a cordless air hammer? Started looking around, and is this palm nailer essentially an air hammer? And is the technology in here, can it be converted to an air hammer in the future? So we're going to try this out, see if this can do what this does, and for fun, we'll just tear it apart and see how it works. Let's do it. So the intended purpose of this, there's just a hole in there. This is spring loaded, and then this little center pin is your punch, your nailer, your hammer, I guess. And you set a nail in there. There's a little magnet in there, holds the nail. And the idea is if you have a joist hanger where you can't use a nail gun because usually you have to be in a set spot, then you take this and you'd put it in there and you just drive it in, and it just, you know, pretty quick, pretty amazing. You know, that's it. But it hammers. Just like this hammers, there's just different bits on them, I guess. So the amazing thing is, try it out with this, and sure enough, that fits right in there. There is a magnet, so it kind of holds it, but it's not fantastic. Probably holds some of these shorter ones a little bit better. I mean, you're not doing that. So let's try it out and see if we could use the same thing we'd use this for on automotive industry type of things. Use this for it. Form factor is a little bit different, not holding it as a pistol, but let's try it. So here we have some trucker tire chain that needs some mending. I got to open these eyes up. These, I'm not sure of the technical name, but this is something. These are two. I mean, this is it's quarter to 5/16. It's a little too big to just bend with pliers on your own. So we take this and maybe something like this. Oh, that one's too big. Some of them are too big. Something like this. Somewhere I got a kit of a bunch of different bits, and some of them are just bigger than other sizes. I don't even know what didn't even realize there was really two different sizes, but I'll try to keep those aside. Anyway, we'll kind of get this in here, see if we can spread this. There we go. Spread it right open. Now let's see what the air gun would do. Let's see. This is definitely more powerful. But this did it. You know? This did it. This is definitely a lot more powerful. But this is also it's not the most powerful gun out there, but it's definitely more powerful than just that little teeny Harbor Freight one or something you can pick up for, used to be able to pick them up for $10. They're probably 50 now with inflation. Let's go outside, see what else it can do. Here we got some 75-year-old bolts on the tractor. Let's see if this pin, it looks rusted solid. If this wants to actually move, if I can pump it out a little bit. Here's a random one. So this bolt probably hasn't been off 75 years. And this loader, it's a fine thread, roughly a 1 inch, maybe 5/16. Let's see if we can chisel it off. This is pretty blunt. I might need to get it, sharpen it. Wow, I need hearing protection. That's loud. That's just like an air hammer. It's cutting into it just like an air hammer too. I think it's working pretty close to what an air hammer would do. I don't know about the strength to chisel off a bolt, but maybe. Where you just chisel off a small bolt. Really don't want to be destroying bolts at work, but maybe we can find something. Okay, this is just a 1/4 inch bolt. Nothing huge. Let's see if we can just, I think it's probably just a grade 2 or something. Nothing. See if we can cut it off. It's pulling it through. There we go. Not bad. It's not as hard to control as I thought. You don't have the spring, that holds that in where you don't need to hold it. So you kind of got to hold it like this. But I do kind of like having your hand directly behind the blow versus a pistol where you're holding it down here. Your force is just going right into it. There you go. Nothing super fancy. This is just a grade 2 low grade bolt, but just chop it, break it in half. I left the bolt on. It's about a 1/4 inch way down there. Take my pickle fork. They actually sell pickle forks that are these attachments, but I don't have one because I always just use this and a hammer. But I have this that I think we can put on there. Let's see if that hammers it in. I'm just gonna make that impossible to. I probably already smashed the nut and made it impossible to get back on. Okay, we're gonna call that a no on that. But I would probably use this and just a hammer anyway. So let's tighten that back up. Give up on that. Okay, what about this? You normally spread this open with a screwdriver or something, or your air hammer. Oh, that bolt's stiff. See if we can push that bolt out. Yep. Let's spread it. Just see if we can end up with a little bit of a gap there. I'm gonna go down the back side of that bolt. What about cutting sheet metal? You cut off a panel out of a car, you use one of these bits. They're never fantastic, but it does work. Say you're at the wrecking yard or something, you need to cut something out. That's not bad at all. The only issue is there's no throttle, really. You kind of have to, it's all or nothing. So I kind of let it off and it cycles down for a second. But there's no like softer and lower. That would be nice. You do need to hold it steady. For the most part, it holds the bit pretty good. I've used air hammers to chisel block before, so let's see how well that works. I don't know. Yeah, no problem at all. We got 3 squirrels. We are ecstatic. Come here. Hey. Hey. You see the squirrels? Go get them. It's funny they paint this black, but this started scraping off after like 5 nails that I set. Don't know why they'd paint that black and not just leave it chrome. Leave it this bare steel, because it's not going to stay that way. So this is just free floating because it does nothing when you pull it out. But we'll take each of these screws out. Ooh, it's all metal. I got a lock up here to lock it off so it doesn't turn on in your bag. Nothing really there. Pull this whole thing out. I was a little concerned because you can see the wire through the back side right there, but it looks like it's supposed to be that way. Like plugging up the little vent. All the on-off switch does is just... That's kind of cool. So basic. That's actually pretty simple. It just rocks and then hits this micro switch. And this looks like nothing more than a basic super cheapo. Nothing. Yeah, that's just a basic nothing micro switch. Oh, the power, the battery indicator light. Little circuit board, nothing to it really. Unplug the battery indicator. Little LED light down here. There's really nothing to that pin even. You could replace that pretty simple. Let's just hook up a battery. See what happens. We hook up a battery. Boom, boom, boom. The micro switch. So this is spring loaded. So if this comes around and hits right here and this can't move, it actually ramps out with the spring. It compresses, ramps out, and slides past it on the side. And then skips around, and then this one comes around and hammers it. It's kind of a sideways like impact gun. Yeah. Well, maybe we can make it, well, I don't think I can hold that in there tight enough. Maybe. So the motor just spins. Got some thrust washers, just like a angle grinder. Gear right here, and you can see the ramp. There's little balls on there. And then it pushes, if it hits and it can't hit, and this is keeps pushing, this actually pushes away and goes around. Then comes back and the spring pushes it back. Keeps going, hits the little hammer. Kind of cool. Super basic. There's nothing to it. There's no reason they couldn't put this, you know, with a bigger hammer, bigger weight, bigger motor, and make this into a an air gun, you know, an air hammer type clone. I mean, this whole thing could be your handle down here, and you can move the piston out here, put it longer. I mean, the whole thing could be, I mean, you've invented an air hammer, but an electric hammer right there. Nothing to it. Let's put it back together and see if it works again. So generally on an air hammer, you have a spring kind of like this. This one actually has a quick release thing on there. So I was thinking that this would have to be modified to sit on there somehow, because this whole thing just unscrews and this is spring loaded. But it holds it on there so well, I don't think it's worth a headache. I know this is ghetto, but space it out just a little bit. You know, get yourself some good 3M Super 33 tape. You know, put a couple wraps around here so you got extra. And just give yourself a wrap or two. Bring it down. That thing will just stay on there. You could actually reuse it a few times and be done. This little collar is supposed to hold the nails. Does such a good job at holding that. It's actually pretty impressive. You know. Hello. It's dead.